Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a good day. So today we are going to go through the project management chapter. So in this chapter, basically we are going to introduce you to the project management and how we manage the project, basically. So this is very important management part of the subject. We are going to have one assignment on this chapter. So this is the outline of this chapter, basically. Introduction to project management, defining the project, estimating time and cost, and developing project plan. So introduction to project management. The learning objective of this chapter. So the end of the lecture session, you should be able to tell me why project management is crucial in today's world, to define a project and differentiate project from routine operation. So it means that you need to understand what is project and what is routine operation. You need to know the differences. And also to explain the importance of projects in implementing organization strategy. So what is project? So when I'm asking you what is project, if this is a live class, of course, I'm going to pick any one of you to explain what you understand with this project. So just think what comes to your mind first when we say what is project? You're used to this term, right? Project. You got project for your subjects, for your certain, I don't know, for your IDP or for your PSM. We can say that it's a project. So what a project means? So this is when you think the project from the student's perspective. But later on, if you are an engineer, let's say you are in a consultation firm, or you are in a site manager, you are an engineer that working in industry. So when say project, okay, what's the definition? What do you think the project is? So project is defined, so it's a long definition, but you need to understand that it's a complex, okay? It's a complex. Means that if it's simple, it's not a project, okay? If it's just a tutorial, we don't say it's a project. But project is have the complexity. It's a complex, non-routine. Non-routine means that you're not going to do this every day, okay? A complex, non-routine, one-time effort limited by time, okay? Actually limited by time, budget, resources, and performance specifications designed to meet the customer needs. So basically it's a complex, non-routine, one-time effort. Actually you have your timeline, okay? And you have your limitation of your budget, your resources, and also the specs of the project that you need to achieve at the end. So this is the definition of project. So what are the major characteristics of a project? Basically this chapter you can just read by your own. Okay, but just we go through quickly, and please, you got the slides, please go through the slides and have a good understanding of each elements that we already have in the slides. So what are the characteristics of projects? Basically has an established objective. So you have your specific established objective. You know clearly what you need to do, okay? And they have their defined lifespan with a beginning and end. So you know when it's going to start, when it's going to finish, or you need to submit. I give the example like your PSM. So you have your own objective to achieve in your PSM. So your PSM is so-called a project. And your PSM, you know when to start, when to register, when to start, and when to submit, when to present. So they have their lifespan. And required across the organizational participation. What do you mean? Across the organizational participation here. Means that if you're working, okay, you need to have a different expertise, different people, okay? Let's say you are working on building a house, a project, okay? So it involve people from different field, architects, the designer, the people who can work as a labor, okay, the local authority. So you need a different people. If in a company, if you're working to manufacture, something. Take an example. You want to manufacture a laptop. Okay, so in a company, you're going to have a different department. You have your production department, you have your HR department, you have your quality control, quality assurance, even your security, even the inventory people, the warehouse people. So you need all of them to work, to come in together and to work. So this is what we call require across the organizational participation. And it involves doing something never been done before. So it's a new thing that you need to plan and do. Okay, if you've been doing this, so it's not a characteristic of project. And we have discussed this before, has a specific time, cost, and performance required. So that's what we call a project. So what's the difference between programs and projects? Here we are going to start by differentiating and understanding the concept of project basically. So what is program? Okay, what is program? A series of coordinated, related, multiple projects that continue over an extended time and intended to achieve a goal. So program is multiple projects. So it's more than one projects. It's a higher level group of projects targeted at a common goal. So maybe the easiest example is like project. You can say if you are doing your bachelor degree in manufacturing engineering or in electrical engineering, so you can assume that your degree is the project. Okay, that's the program. Okay, so your subject that you take. Okay, you have your engineering economy project, you have your mathematics, you have your physics, you have your drawings, things. So that's, you can say, project for each subject. But to complete all the courses is program. The same thing, if you're building only one houses or one project here at location A, then that's a project. But you have multiple projects with different characteristics, we call it a program. Okay, so programs is a higher level group of projects. And this is we mentioned earlier, what's the difference between projects and also routine works. In the definition of project, we can see it's a non-routine works, right? So routine is a repetitive work that we do every day. That's the example, taking class notes, daily entering sales receipts into the accounting ledger, responding to a supply chain. Just take this as an example for us to make sure we understand. Okay, okay. Routine manufacture of an Apple iPod. Although they are manufacturing an Apple iPod, but it's like in production, it's running every day. Every day they are running to manufacture or assemble this Apple iPod. So this is not a project. But when this was first to be done, that's a project. Okay, so if you want to say how the project level is here, designing an iPod means that they are designing new iPod. Okay, designing a new iPod. You're not going to design every day. You design once, done, it's approved, then you're going to start the manufacturing, the production. Okay, so I believe you understand the example given here. So this is the project life cycle. This is a illustration just to give you an overview on the project life cycle. Basically, you're going to start here, okay, and then end here. So you have different phases, okay. But basically, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 phases, and you can see each explanation down here. They have defining. When you first start, you need to set your goals. What are the specifications? What are the list of job to be done, and who going to do all the responsibility, like a defining to understand the things. Later on, once you understand, you have a clear idea, you're going to start the planning stages. the schedules, when to start, what to do, how about the budget, what to buy, what the resources, what the risks, how we are going to counter the risk, the people, okay, the laborers, the staffings. So you have all of this planning. Once done, then you're going to execute. Okay, you are doing this, the forecast and everything. This is like a production, or you are implementing, you are doing the project. And here is when you into closure. You are done, then you do the reports, more to the documentation, evaluation, and what things to be improved. So you can see the defining stages, how long it will took. It's not going to take too long, but of course, at the same time, you already start the planning. And then during the planning, so here you already start the execution, and then the closure is here. So basically, the stages of project life cycle. So this slide actually giving you an insight on the challenge of the project management. Okay, I'm not going to touch in detail, but basically it's very challenging to be a project manager. Okay, because you're going to manage temporary, non-repetitive activities and frequently acts independently of the formal organization. Like knowing everything about the resources. Okay, you also link or need to deal with the customer and their interface. You need to be a good manager and sometimes any good leader to provide a direction, coordination, and integration to the project team, and also responsible for the performance and success of the project. Of course, you're going to be blamed for the failure as well. So the most difficult or toughest thing is to induce right people at the right time to address the right issue and make a right decision. So this is basically understanding under the challenges of the project manager. Why the project management is important? Why you need to learn this subject? Why you need to know? You need to take care of. I mean, you need to make sure you know things about the project management, because you are engineer. Why should you know about this? Why should you take note? Make sure you are aware of this thing. Why? Why you need to take this subject? Okay, so basically, we need to have a management part, the understanding. Okay, because how we can plan the product life cycle, when to start, okay, when to stop. Basically, you can, if you have a good knowledge, if the project took 1 year, okay, maybe with the use of the knowledge and also the technology in project management, you can make it just in, let's say, 7 months. Okay, because you plan well, you use the right softwares, you know where you can cut, where to make sure to make a decision, to organize all the files, to deal with the people. You have a very good planning. Okay, and also about the knowledge. Okay, you're going to boost your knowledge by having the information on project management. You're going to consider on the sustainability. This is the 3 important pillars of sustainability. You're going to consider the planet, the environment, the people, and also the economical issues or factors when you're dealing with the project. Okay, so sometimes you can do a good staffing, corporate downsizing, means that you don't need too many people. Okay, you identify who to do which job, so you have a very good or a good size of your team. Then you can increase your customer focus, and small projects sometimes, okay, represent big problems. You can learn, and then when you are facing or when you want to do or go for a big projects, okay, so you already have some experience. So in these slides, explaining about the benefits of an integrative approach, okay, to the project management. So we are focusing on project management. And here they said, if you use an integrative approach, okay, you have some benefits. So what is integrative approach? They said integration. Okay, you integrate or centralize project management. Sometimes we use software, we use some technology that you can, especially in this fourth industrial revolution wind, that we want to know everything at one place. Okay, So this slide, you integrate information. You know, if you're in industry, if you're a boss, if you're a leader, if you're a manager, you know what the production is doing, what's their capacity now, without going down to the floor. If anything get rejected at the quality control section, you also know, just by looking at one place, one PC maybe. You have all the dashboard, all the information there. No need for the production people go to the QC department and QC need to update them manually. This is what we call the centralization. So what's the benefit if you have this? Okay, so you can have a good overview of all project management activities. You know what happening where, what to improve. Okay, and you know the big picture of how organizational resources are used. So you can plan well the quantity of the raw material being used. Okay, risk assessment. They are talking about how you assess the risk based on the people or the project's portfolio. We are going to have one chapter, another chapter, next chapter on risk management. And here they talk about the rough metric or the firm's improvement in managing project relative to others in industry and linkages of senior management with actual project execution management. It means that how you can link or interact with the senior management, your bosses, with the actual project execution. Okay, maybe they target 1 year, but you can do it in 11 months, or it's going to exceed. Okay, so you can plan and discuss. It's not going to just happen suddenly that will give impact to many people. So in previous slide, we discussed about the benefits of integration, right? Here, they are explaining what's the problem. If you are just doing your job without having a good communication, don't have the access to the information of other people, and you don't give your information to other people, or it's very difficult to communicate. Okay, problem resulting from the use of piecemeal project management system. So you have the production department have their own software, have their own planning, it's not communicate with the HR people. So you know the problems. The example is the HR will order, okay, will order the raw material. So how they're going to sync if the information or the capacity of the production is not being updated to the HR. That's the example. Okay, so they are going to their own direction, not at the firm's direction. So they do not tie together the overall strategies of the firm. Okay, how they are going to achieve the objectives or the goal of the company. So you are the UTEM students. You are final year students. Okay, so my good question related to this in this specific slides. Okay, I want to ask you. So without searching at the internet, can you tell me what is the mission of UTEM? Do you know what is the mission of UTEM? Or do you know what's the vision of UTEM? See, you don't know. So this is the one example that you just do your job. So you don't know even what's the mission or vision of the UTEM. So how you are going to help UTEM to achieve its vision. We are who should work on the organizational objectives. So as a UTEM student, you also a stakeholder, important stakeholders. So you see, this is the example. If you just do your things, you don't know what's actually that you need to contribute. So it's an example. Okay. The same thing when you work in the industry, you should know what's the objective. Even the small department, they have their own objective. Okay. The company will have a zero defect. That's also, we can say, the objective, improve productivity. So all of these things, basically. And it will fail to prioritize selection of projects. Okay, they will easily do the wrong decision because they don't have the overall information about their capacity. Just accept the orders that came in, but basically they don't know. The maintenance people say, no, the machines are broken down. They don't know. Or they say, HR people thought, oh, everything's good. You see what's going to happen. And they are not integrated throughout the project life cycle, do not match project planning and control with organizational culture to make appropriate adjustment in support of projects endeavors. So how can they plan to success? Okay, if they don't match with the project planning and they don't have, the controls with the organization. So this is the problem resulting if this not integrated. They are not communicating each other. When we say communicating in current days, is using the management. Okay, the management software to work. They know the planning, the scheduling, and everything. Okay, so this is the example of the integrated management of projects. So they have their organization culture, strategic alignment, portfolio, and project management. That's fine. We may not want to really focus on this, but this is what we have explained before. Okay, so you need to take care. Take into consideration everything, the culture, the management, the portfolio management, the strategic alignment, to manage the projects. So here is the major functions of portfolio management. Okay, that's fine. You can read this. Basically, is to oversee the project selection, to make sure you select a good project, right project, and you monitor the resource level and skills, the people with their capability, with their knowledge, what they can do, and also the experience. So this is the portfolio management. Okay, so you know, if they say, can your company do this? Yes, we have the expert on this, and on this. Encourage use of the best practices, balance project and portfolio in order to represent a risk level appropriate to the organization. Okay, so you know your company can take risk to what extent, okay, especially in terms of monetary, in terms of material, in terms of the technology. Okay, you can't just buy everything, all the machines. Okay, then you're going to be bankrupt if you don't have any project. So this is how you balance your project with the orders and also the risk level. Especially like the other example is timeline, when you're going to submit, deliver the order or the project. Like assignment, okay, you can't just take all the assignments. Because you love to do assignments, you go to the lecturer, say I want 10 assignments I want to do, and you go and ask all the lecturers. So with 50 and 100 assignments, can you do in a good quality and submit? And what for, right? If you don't think you don't need that, so why you need that? You just focus on the one that given to you. Do it properly. Improve communication among all stakeholders, create total organizational perspective that goes beyond silo thinking. Means that you can't just work by your own. You can't just do your work, think for you. No, don't be a silo thinking. You need to work together, communicate together, and improve all management projects of all the time. So here, the technical and socio-cultural dimension of the project management process. The project management process. We have two. One is technical, and the second one is socio-cultural dimension. So we have socio-cultural, we have technical. What is sociocultural? It's more to leadership, problem solving, teamwork, negotiation, politics, and customer expectation. So we're going to discuss, learn about each of the elements here, okay, in the sociocultural dimension. What's technical? Technical is more to the technical part of the project. The scope, WBS. What is WBS? Work breakdown, structure, the schedules, the planning, resource allocation, baseline budget, and status reports. So we have two dimensions, right? Which one is important when you are dealing with the project? Is it sociocultural or technical? Technical. Sociocultural. Which one? Since you are more to the engineering background, okay, you're going to say technical, right? Because we are more to the technical part. Actually, both are very important. Okay, if you know how to do the job, but you don't have a good planning, you don't have the good leadership communication, then things are going to the drain as well. So we need to have a both. Okay, sociocultural and technical. But due to the limitation of the subjects, our time, and things we want to be focused, we are going to see only on the technical dimension in this chapter. Okay, so we are going to see next how we are going to define the project. So we are going to discuss this in the next video. Okay, so please go back and see or go through the slides on theory part. If you don't understand the terms, things, you can do a search and also discuss with your friend. So we're going to discuss on defining the project in the next video. Thank you very much.